I don't hear this spoken about enough, and I think it's really problematic because when it happens to someone who just got out of an abusive relationship, it can end up making you feel really broken. What I'm talking about is how much you miss this person. You miss them because you think about all of the good times that you had with them. You think about all of the wonderful memories you created. You think about all the times that they were really romantic and good to you, and you think about all the sweet things that they said to you during the different love bombing phases. As someone who's been through an abusive relationship, I understand that is such a confusing experience to go through because you start second guessing whether leaving them was the right decision. Because there was a lot of good in the relationship. This person wasn't all evil. There was a reason why you fell in love with them in the first place. But in the end, they did so much damage to you, and you begged them to work on themselves. And during the love bombing stages, there were little moments where they did, but they always went back to the abuse. So you would have these tiny moments of hope where you hung on for longer than you should have, only to realize that they're still the same abusive person that you gave endless chances to. Then there was finally a moment where you just said, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I can't go back. And then you finally gather up the strength to leave them, and it just hits you like a brick wall how much you miss them. And then the rose-colored lenses ends up coming up, and all of the bad they did doesn't feel as bad, especially when you start healing from it and you're no longer hanging on to that pain as much. Distance can create the illusion that the bad wasn't as bad as it actually was, but it was bad. Do you remember how they talked to you? Do you remember how they made you feel? Do you remember all the times that you cried yourself to sleep at night? Do you remember the horrible way they treated you? How your heart just ached constantly. And you knew every single time the love bombing phase started, you knew it wouldn't last. There was a part of you that held on to the hope that it would. This time, maybe it's different. Maybe they realize that you're a catch and they will want to work on themselves because they don't want to lose you. But then when they get comfortable, they just start going right back to that abuse. It never starts off that way. It starts off with little things again that lead to the abuse. And when you start to point it out, they make you out to be the problem. So you start to question in your mind, maybe I am the problem. It ends up just twisting your mind and making you second guess yourself and doubt your own reality. When you leave that relationship, what makes it even harder is that oftentimes abusers will try to hook you back in. They go back to the love bombing, promising that they'll change. Big alligator tears. Oh, I swear it'll be different this time. Maybe they go to therapy or coaching just to prove to you this time it's different. But then you notice they start using it against you. They start using it to manipulate you, to get what they want, to make you feel worse about yourself, and to hook you in. And then with time, they quit doing whatever it was they were doing for supposed self-improvement, and they go right back to abusing you, and you feel lower than ever. Then you have these moments where you wonder, why am I feeling this way? Why do I even miss this person? I know when I was going through it, I felt like I was stupid, to be honest. I was like, why would I even miss someone who was this awful to me? But it's not that you're missing the terrible version of them. You're missing the wonderful version that you had fallen in love with. And it's perfectly normal to miss this person. You shared a lot of good moments. But what's not normal is what they put you through. What's not okay is what they put you through. And an abuser will continue to put you through the abusive cycle repeatedly until you decide to get out. It's really hard and complicated when you first get out of an abusive relationship because of all the conflicting emotions and feelings that are going on in your mind. That was honestly one of the hardest times in my life when I did it. I felt so broken and hollow. I felt alone in the world. I felt like a shattered version of myself, and I felt really messed up in my mind because I was missing someone who was horrible to me. This person literally almost cost me my life, and I still missed them, which is so messed up to me. But at the same time, I understand it because I went through it. And unless you've actually gone through it, you won't understand what that's like. how confusing that is. And you won't understand what a trauma bond is like unless you've been through it. And a trauma bond is so hard to break, but it can be broken. It's important that during this time, even though you miss them, allow yourself to miss them. Yes, don't shame yourself. You've been through enough of that. But instead, show yourself compassion, the compassion that you've been needing for so long, because you've been in a relationship that has shown you a lack of compassion. Yes, you miss them. It is okay to miss them. It's okay to wonder, how are they doing? It's okay to think to yourself, God, I wonder if they're okay, and want to reach out and want to look at their social media and want to just see how they are, but don't do it. Resist, because that's just going to reform that attachment. It's going to make it so much harder to heal, so much harder to move forward if you keep looking back to the toxic and abusive relationship that you came from. Forward is where healing is, not behind you. Closure is not looking behind you. It's looking forward. It's accepting, and it's healing. But you cannot find closure if you keep hanging on to the past. Again, it's okay to miss them. It is not okay to go back. It's okay to still love them. It is not okay to use that as a reason to return to them. They didn't deserve you. Look at what they put you through. You went through hell and back, and now you're finally out. Take this as a time to heal. Allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you need to feel. And if you need additional help, find a good trauma therapist. They make a world of difference. I've seen one. I spent years in a therapist's office, but you want to go specifically to a therapist that specializes in trauma and abuse. It really does make a difference. But what made the most difference for me was showing myself compassion. Because for the longest time, for many years after my abusive relationship, I beat myself up over the emotions that I was feeling, and that really prolonged my healing journey. I know you miss them. I know you think about them nonstop and you wish that you could get them out of your mind. And maybe it seems to you like they've gotten you out of their mind. Why can't you get them? That's normal to experience that. You went through hell and back. You're the one covered in wounds. And the amount of love that you have for them and how you're able to see their beauty even through all of the darkness tells me that you really have a good soul, because you can see beauty even in the darkest corners. That's a positive reflection of you. I know you're going through a really difficult time right now. I know you have 1,000 different thoughts in your head and you don't know which way is right and which way is wrong. But you're trying and you're doing the best you can, and that's what matters. I'm going to say it again, and I know I've said it so many times today, but it is okay to miss them. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to feel this pain, because that's how you're going to get through it, is by letting yourself feel it. You're facing this darkness, and I'm so proud of you for doing that. It's okay to miss them. Just keep moving forward. I'm proud of you. I'm not sure if you're listening to my Spotify podcast, or maybe you're watching this on my YouTube channel. But if you know anyone who can benefit from this video, be sure to send this to them or tag them below so they can listen to it. I'll be covering more topics like this in the future, so don't forget to click the follow button or hit subscribe. I hope you have a beautiful day.